Hi, everybody. This is Chris,
And this is Matt.
and this is most definitely not a review of Might and Magic.
It's not even a book club style discussion of Might and Magic.
No, we're coming at you different today because we do go off the track sometimes. And today we're going to talk about how to play Might and Magic.
Yeah, and we do this because sometimes we're playing a longer game and there's a barrier to entry to some of these longer role playing games. And rather than make you wait, the idea is if you're playing along, if you'd like to start playing along, we will talk about the early game hump that you have to get over in some of these role playing games.
Right, especially with like a lot of these mid '80s games where mechanics weren't a given.
Totally. Yeah.
The way you played a game varied drastically from game to game, and you might try to get into this and just be lost.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. We spend a lot of time making mistakes. I mean, I did play this. I didn't remember a lot about it, but
right.
yeah, we spent time making mistakes and we can share that experience with you without discussing
Yeah.
how we feel about it.
Yeah, we'll try to stay out of our feelings for it. I'm sure they'll creep in.
Definitely.
So, let me. We'll just say it's from 1986. It's Might and Magic 1. If you've never played it before, similar to a Bard's Tale style game,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
And
First
so,
person, you know, you know
you know the
the
drill.
deal. Yep.
Okay, now, one of the first things it's going to do is scream at us.
Right. Right. Don't be afraid
Yeah.
when you boot this up. This is the good old games collection, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you get this.
I don't know if you can hear it, Matt, but it's loud and obnoxious.
I cannot hear it, luckily, but I have heard it many a time.
Okay. Are you ready? Press enter. Like, I've already pressed one key to get to here. But it's the choice between do you want a demo of the game and actually playing the game.
Right.
And you enter, and it brings you to this screen.
Yeah. So we're gonna briefly go over character creation. Tip number one, I would say have an idea in your mind what you want your party to look like, and then create them in the order that you want to add them later, because otherwise you'll be bounced all over the alphabet adding people to your party.
You're correct. I want to take a step back even from that before we start into what do you expect from an old school role playing game? Because if you go in expecting story or role play in what is sort of a modern context, you're not going to enjoy this game. You're not going to build the right sort of group. Role playing games back from this era were a different beast. And the party is less a set of characters and more a set of tools.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Like you're not going to get like Lord of the Rings storytelling here.
No, you're not. It doesn't matter if your fighter has a fear of spiders. It does matter, that there will be a spider cave your people went through and go through.
So
I
what's
had
your
a way to
recommended?
describe this.
Oh,
It's it's actions instead of interactions.
yeah.
It's the story and the adventure are the actions your characters do in the world. The interactions with the world are generally a lesser or subset of what actually happens and drives the story forward. So, how the game plays to you is based on the type of characters you choose at this moment.
Right.
And in some games, you will have more types of characters than party slots. So your gameplay will vary. Like if you take barbarians versus something else. you can get that slot. Obviously, with all old games, read the manual. You'll get a sense of kind of how you want to play. In this case, there's 6 party slots. There's 6 character types.
You do the math.
Do the math. Take one of each. For your first game, just take one of each. Try to get multiple character races, multiple character genders. That you can fluff around with a little bit more, but dwarves make better fighters. Elves make better mages and thieves, and
the usual.
And min-maxing isn't necessarily frowned upon, so bring the best tool for the job.
Yeah. Let's get a look at what the character creation looks like.
So let's create a new character. Now, actually, let's do a view character here first, because I have some characters already existing.
Yeah, and you get some when you start, but you've deleted all that.
I've deleted that starting party.
Yes.
I don't like that starting party. Ugh, make your own, guys.
Don't need
or
them.
Don't.
Whatever you want.
Whatever. And it might be worth, if it's your first romp through here, to take a non-developed party, because you're probably going to die, and you'll learn a lot in your first run. Even after watching this, you'll still learn a lot. Okay. Should we talk about the classes real quick? Paladin, Knight, Archer, Robber, Sorcerer, Cleric?
Yeah.
Cleric.
Yeah, there's not really much to say, again, because there's 6 classes, 6 slots. Probably just take one of each. I mean, you might end up having a preference for paladins over knights at some point.
Right.
You kind of need a sorcerer and a cleric, I think, to really experience this, and even like you need them.
Right.
So, I guess you could take 2 robbers or 2 archers if you really wanted to, but there's a lot of trappery, and you're going to want a robber, and archers are just cool, and it's got ranked like combat where you need to.
Some people could shoot, some people can't.
Yeah.
Archers have a special powers for those. Basically, Paladin is what you'd think, though. Like, it's a combination cleric fighter. Knight is just a fighter. Archers arch. Bows and sorcerer spells is what the archer is. Robber, traps, and that's kind of it. And this is part of why I wanted to talk about actions within the world, because I think the robber is very different from what someone who plays modern games would think of as their thief rogue class. No backstabs.
Yeah.
They're not doing damage. This is not a guy who's bringing damage to your party. He's not that useful in combat. Or she. They are not that useful in combat.
Yeah, you can pretty much stick them in the back, use them to open locks and traps and stuff. Standard role-playing game there.
Better than your wizard with a staff, but at the same time.
Yeah.
However, without them, the world experience is difficult.
Right.
Because, like you said, traps, locks, and things like that.
Is this how you structure your party? Paladin, Knight, Archer, Robber, Sorcerer, Cleric?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do as well. I think I might have my Robber in front of my Archer.
Right. And the second set, you'll see I just threw that group together last night really quick. So that's why they're in no particular order other than the order they came up with for roles. And that's where we get to create a new character.
Yeah.
This is a rolling system. So, actually, what did I need? Did I need I need a paladin.
A paladin. Yeah, so we've seen stuff like this before. There's 2 strategies I use. One is to watch the right side for the class that I want, and one is to watch the left side for all double digits. Or like mostly double digits.
Right.
So I think some of the class, like Robber, you can pretty much always do, and these are all outlined in the manual. But like Paladin can be kind of hard to get to show up.
Yeah.
So, depending on what you're doing, I like generally won't take anything with two single digits unless something unusual has happened.
Right.
My pattern is like my first 2 or 3 characters are like great with stats, and then after that I get bored, and
Well,
everyone's just like middle of the road.
and this is the thing that comes. Oh God, we'll talk about it when we talk about it. I want to talk about random generation and how it affects, but that is
Yeah.
for the conversation. Yes. So here's a dilemma I have now. We've talked about paladin being hard to get because certain stats need to be a certain level for the paladin to show up.
Right.
There really aren't unimportant stats for any character. There are some that are less important, and someone down below will correct me and say that I don't think this is important for this. But there's generally a skill save or an order of combat or an AC bonus or something that's affected by these stats.
Right.
So, like, yes, the archer needs accuracy more than the paladin might. But
Sure.
that doesn't mean you can let paladins not have it. The paladin doesn't really need speed, but a 7 means they're attacking last after everyone else.
Right. And that can be a drag.
And the might is 14, which is good, but not great. Their intellect, I think, affects spell points when they finally have them, but I don't need it to be 16. So even though we kind of have everything here, I don't want it.
Yeah, skip it.
Yeah. And then we go again.
Till we see our paladin. There's nothing worse than rolling past because you're like,
oh God, that's
there we go. See, like this is also not that great.
Not that
Good
great,
endurance
but
and
more
accuracy.
interesting. Endurance and
Yeah.
accuracy are high. So if we were to take paladin and then take something, should we go half orc or dwarf?
Let's do dwarf.
Let's do dwarf. Oh, I thought our might went up with dwarf. Endurance must have gone up with dwarf. Half orc would have raised strength.
Well, you're stuck
I'm not
with
starting
it.
over. Yep, we're living with it.
Yep.
All the stats in the game, this is something else I'll tell you. There are places in the game that will raise the stats. And then you can go on a quest that will unlock them all again. And you can raise your stats. You can get them way up. Alignment. We're going to talk about this when we get to combat. But I believe good and evil can't be in the same party.
Yeah, you have problems.
And then there are weapons and armors that will only work if you are the proper alignment. So I've made everybody good because I want to show you something annoying once we start playing. And let's go female. Female paladin. I've already got Tina LaFay in there. This is a dwarf anyway.
Yeah. There's always Becky. Like I usually name
Name your paladin Becky.
Yeah. Or what's the droid from Futurama that
Bender?
lives on the moon?
Oh,
What was her name? Crushinator.
Crushinator. Let's go with Crushinator. I like Crushin. Oh,
Oh, it doesn't fit?
no, if I
boy.
hit back, it takes the whole thing away.
Oh, man.
That's interesting.
There we go.
Save character. Yes. All right.
Okay.
So, and this is kind of confusing if you don't read the instructions either. Number, go to town. It doesn't mean the number sign.
Right.
There are 5 towns in Might and Magic. And
Right.
wherever you save your game or save your characters, that's where they live.
So you hit 1 when you are first starting out.
Right. So let's add Crushinator. Let's add Philia Flagon. Let's add
And this is control in the letter to add them,
Yes.
and they'll go in the order that you add them.
Tina LaFay, Cassandra, Tim, and Anne.
Oh, Tim.
Tim.
And don't hit escape. I often do that. hit X text at the
One,
end.
2, 3, 4, 5. Did I not add bow and arrow in? I have too many people. Oh, Anne is from my old party.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow is my... That's right. Okay, so I've got these out of order. So we'll exit the inn and we'll look at our party order here.
My archer is named Shooty. I'm less clever than you are.
I only came up with bow and arrow last night.
Yeah, so here you go.
Order.
This is it.
Yeah. So Tina is my robber. Cassandra is my cleric. So I need to switch some of these people around. 1 and 2 are fine. Bow and arrow. Tina LaFay. Tim. And
4.
There we go. All right.
There we go. Party's in order.
Party's in order. This is your screen for seeing the game. Characters are below. If there's an asterisk by them, something has happened to them.
Something bad. So the most useful button in Might and Magic is Q.
Yes,
You
it
will hit
is.
Q all the time in combat. You will hit it outside to see how much food you have, who's messed up, who's dead, who needs to be healed. Like all the time you're going to be looking at this screen.
Yeah, because this actually tells you what their condition is.
Right.
Whether it's poisoned or unconscious or dead or something else. Generally from everywhere else, you just know they have a condition, but not what it is.
Right.
You also get a good quick rundown of their AC over on the top right. Hit points. You'll notice this starts out very low. If you play through the entire game, we'll get very high.
AC, you want what? A higher or lower AC?
Higher.
Isn't that interesting?
It's one of the few early games that sort of broke from that and had you actually increasing your AC. So
yes,
I'm sure we'll talk more about that. But yes, this is this. I'm going to go in here now. I've just hit, I went kind of fast there. Escaped to come back out here. 1 to go into a character screen. We're looking at Crushinator now. Level 1, age 18. Age does matter, but by the time it matters, you have spells and things that make it not matter.
Yeah.
So
like, this is one of those games that starts you unequipped. So step 1 is to equip your club, or you're going to have a hard time with early combat. You're going to feel like an idiot.
And the other thing to notice kind of with the equipment in this part, there are 6 slots in your backpack. There are 6 things you can equip. It doesn't matter what those 6 things are. You can't equip 2 swords, but helm, shield, armor, sword, bow, and then 1 special item. If you get another special item, even if it's like boots and a ring, you can only equip the boots or the ring. You get 6 end of list. When we pull out the more powerful guys later, I'll kind of show you what that means. The Commodore version had a bug where if you equipped things in the right order, you could sometimes end up with 2 shields and stuff. I don't know if that's in here. Yeah. And it just, we would go through just equipping and unequipping things, trying to break it to give us like 2 super powerful shields. Or
that's awesome.
Like we had one guy with 2 shields and a 2-handed sword, and we're like, that doesn't look right.
Just do it.
Yeah, we're doing it anyway.
Use your imagination what that looks like.
Right?
All right, let's equip the rest of these chumps.
Yep. And you want to really equip before you start moving, because combat can happen anywhere at any time. We may take a step forward and get attacked.
Yes. And the other thing you might want to do right away, and we can talk about this, you're going to map a lot. Yes. You're going to map every one of these areas, and there's like a layout, and if you own this game, they'll give you some like graph paper or dotted paper
Hmm.
that kind of like gives you some information about the layout of the levels. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's in the manual, is it? Like
Yeah.
how the it is?
Yeah.
Oh
Basically,
yeah, it
they're all
is.
16 by 16.
Right.
So every map you're on, even the overworld, is in a 16 by 16 section. And
Hmm.
if you go down a level, it's a new map. If you go up a level, it's a new map. If you go outside, it's a new map. But they're all
Right.
16 by 16, which is just enough to feel like you can explore, but not so much that you feel like you're wandering endless mazes.
Yes.
But I'm
So
getting off track.
and it's a grid, and this is important. The reason I'm saying this is because it's important.
Okay.
It has coordinates, and it starts at 0, 0. And the reason is because yes, when you start out, it you will want to use this spell to like get your bearings when you start mapping because you won't always be facing north. You want to know where on the paper to like put yourself. It's worth drawing out that 16 by 16 grid, casting the spell when you enter an area, and then like starting your map the right way. Otherwise, you're going to be all over the damn paper. You're gonna be turning it all the time because you did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like just use this spell. What spell was that? 1/7.
1/7. And we'll talk about spellcasting here in a second too. But
Yeah.
this is one of the games I go back and forth between this, Bard's Tale, and Ultima 3 as the I want to get into mapping. Like not use a tool on a screen. I want to actually have that old school feel of drawing maps. And I got asked
Mm-hmm.
about that again because I'd started a series on it a while ago and then pulled it.
Yeah.
But this is why some of these old games had spells that facilitated helping you map.
Right.
It's that much a part of the game. The mapping is. And yeah, you can get tools and you can do things that kind of do it for you, but I don't know.
Mapping is so important for these games because of the pacing. If you have a map,
Take a drink. There was a
yeah,
drinking game for a while that said every time they say mapping's important for pacing, take a drink.
it's one
But
of
it's
the
true.
truths of retro gaming. And as people who play a lot of retro games and discuss them in a book club style format,
But never review
it's
them.
going to come up, but never
Yeah,
review them.
never review them.
So yeah. So again, this is no exception.
But it gives you
Anyway,
the tool to do it. And it gives you a really good tool to do it. It tells you where you are in the overworld. It tells you where you are on the surface of that overworld, where you are in your current map, and what direction you're facing. And that's fantastic. Short
and what
of
is
giving
map?
you a map.
What's map sector refer to?
So the overworld map is made up of A, B, C, D, E, and 1, 2, 3, 4 down the side. So
Hmm.
those are all 16 by 16 little maps.
So it's the sector of your sector, basically.
Right. So we are in column C, row 2 on the overworld. In
Yes.
there, at 1010, there's the entrance to this map. And in this map, we are at coordinates x, 8, y, 3. The coordinates start in the lower left-hand corner. And if you have the game or bought it through GOG and look at the attachments and stuff, you'll see that on their template map. They give you an incomplete map of the town you're in to start.
Yes.
Super nice. I
Very
say
handy.
incomplete because there are secrets, and we'll show some of those later. Spoilers, kind of thing.
Yep.
But let's take a moment here and talk about this right now. I want to cast a spell.
Yes.
I can't do it from here.
No. You do it from the character screen.
Go to the character screen and then cast a spell. And this is because there are two types of old RPGs, verb RPGs and noun RPGs. And this is a noun RPG. You go to the noun and do the verb. Ultima is a verb RPG. You do the verb and then point it at a noun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So again, like there's a really good website, oldgames.sk. That's where I
Mm-hmm.
follow the manual. But you also will want to print the spell table And like this looks like ants to me, but
Yeah, it's really hard to see, but this is the back of a book, the manual, and it does not come with the Good Old Games version. So the Good Old Games version has all the spells listed, but it doesn't have a quick reference like this, which is essential.
mm-hmm.
You will use this more than pretty much anything else in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely have access to the spell tables. Like I think when you launch this straight from Good Old Games, it does the DOSBox thing where it goes into full screen, and then if you alt tab out, it goes into a tiny little postage stamp window. So if you don't want to mess with your DOSBox config and deal with the alt tabbing, I'd say print it up. Like I have it printed up. I have notes on which spells I like to use when,
and like you started running into with Nox, you'll get muscle memory for some of these because combat is pretty fast. So you're just like ba-bam, 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 and go. You'll notice. Let's just talk about what's on the screen. You got your stats, your level, your age, your experience. SP is your spell points, which I think is interesting that they put above hit points because most people would have been like, priority's hit points, right?
Yeah.
Spell points are above that. I wasted 1 casting that location spell.
Hey man, it's not a waste.
The parentheses is your spell level. That back of the book you saw, because it's different from your level. And it's different. I can't even tell you exactly what it is because sorcerers and archers and thus paladins and clerics get their spells at different levels. Sorcerers and clerics, every odd level until you have level 7 spells. It's kind of traditional at this point, like that for a lot of the games. Like every other level, you get more spells. Gems, and that's part of why they're on the spell point line, are used in spells. You don't need them for every spell, but you do for some. You cannot buy them. You only get them from battles.
Yeah. And at first you're going to be like, man, gems, hard to get. But then like by the time you hit like level 2 or 3, you're like, oh, I can start like
using my
I
gem
can
spells.
go like, on some of these better spells.
Gold, you will eventually have an insane amount for, and we'll talk kind of about things you can do with that. AC, all the way at the bottom. Again, another nice thing about the quick references, you just see everything. And then food.
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 Yeah, you need food. You got to buy food or you won't heal. And if you don't heal, you get killed.
You can have up to 40 food. Each food lets you rest. And heal at the rest. I think you can rest anyway, no matter what. But if you want to heal and get your stuff back, you need food. You're never going to starve to death. So points for that.
Yeah.
But you need, basically, food is a chance for you to get your health back if you're in a place that lets you rest.
Yes. All right. Are we ready to take our first step?
Oh my God. I don't know. I'm already exhausted. I'm already exhausted. Arrow keys move. Step forward. Step forward. V to turn off volume. Actually, I'll leave it on. I'll leave it on.
Yeah, leave it. Leave it
on. There's you can buy food. You can buy this. Let's go in here. Can you help us? Yes. Oh, that's right. We don't even start with gold.
No, you start with nothing.
You get
except
nothing.
a club and a dream.
Good day, sir. Buy weapons, buy armor, buy miscellaneous, or sell an item. And you have to do this individually. There is no party thing.
Yep.
Weapons.
It's the gather gold game. Yeah. Back out, gather gold, blah, blah, blah.
Every town has a different set of things in its shop. You will probably eventually outclass the shops, but if you know how to get around towns pretty early in and you've got some gold, you can... Some of the higher towns actually have magic equipment that is worth bopping over and dropping a dime on. Armors, We're gonna come in here and buy some of that shortly. Miscellaneous. I'll be honest, I don't use most of the miscellaneous from this shop.
No. I picked up a couple torches.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
Like whatever.
Whatever. Why not? I do what I want. Food. Food is interesting for shopping. I do kind of like this. Would you like to buy some food? Yes. You spend that per person. Each person has to have the money on them.
Mm-hmm.
But then they just fill you up. Whatever your food, whatever you just get it. It's full, and you don't have to be like, I'd like to buy 14 food. No, 5 gold. Boom. Other towns charge more. I don't get why that is, but they do.
Yeah. Cost of living's higher, I guess.
I guess we have no money.
Yeah.
So
let's get in some trouble.
Let's go stir something up. I'm going to turn right here. I'm going to turn right here. Let's do this while I'm looking at it. So we're looking at this dead end.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way outside. One of the problems with this game is you are not going to see special events, special things on the map.
Yep, you just have to walk onto the square and get the text.
Yeah, you won't even know it's coming up. So if we turn right here and step here.
What?
There it is. It's like, I know there's a statue here.
Yeah.
Would you like to search it? Yeah.
Yep.
So there's statues and clues and little things you do to kind of piece everything together. But this is the other thing you're going to use a lot of sort of early in when you get poisoned or die or something, because it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be fair, when I die, I just reboot.
Yeah. Totally.
I just reboot. I have an SSD. It goes very fast. It's not like the old Commodore days.
Yep.
Okay. So I know behind this door there's some trouble, because I've played this game way too much. If I walk into it, it says locked.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 options. One is I can try to unlock it with my robber, or I can hit B and bash it open. If I hit B and bash it open and there's a trap on it, I'm getting hit with the trap.
Yeah.
If I unlock it, there's a possibility I might not get hit with the trap.
Yeah. You're going to want to unlock.
So we're going to want to unlock. Success.
Nice
now I can
job.
go through and combat.
Yes.
We're probably going to die on this one, but that's okay.
You got this.
I got
you got this.
this.
Yes. So here you're faced with some options about combat.
Yes.
And let's talk about what those are.
So attack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with what we know they do, and then we'll tell everybody about the secret toy surprise inside.
Right.
Attack starts combat. Boom. Done. Retreat. You try to flee the battle.
And it takes you to an odd place. It takes you to the nearest safe square in like the area you're in. And in town, it takes you right outside the inn, which I think is fantastic.
Yes.
Because if you're running, it's so nice to like get a free pass back to the inn.
Right. I have in sometimes when I'm like going into town, like with my super beefy guys, like, you're attacked by 3 snakes. Run. Oh, look, I'm where I want to be.
Yep. Saved me 8 seconds.
Yep. Thank you, snakes. So retreat just takes you out of there. Bribe offers you the chance to, try and make them go away. Surrender. What does surrender do? I never use surrender.
Surrender makes you a weak person who needs a blanket and a latte.
You think that's what
Don't
it
use
is?
surrender. Don't use surrender.
I'm not going to surrender. I want to. So one of the, I'm not a fan of Good Old Games manual in general, but that it is just basically a pure text. Your party attempts to surrender. If the monsters accept your surrender, you will move to a more dangerous square within the immediate 16 by 16 area. All of your food, gold, and or gems may be confiscated. If the surrender fails, combat will begin anyway.
So why would you not retreat then?
Better chance of succeeding than a retreat.
Makes sense.
Surrender may be a necessary remover in order to get to a particular area.
Oh, hint.
And this again, read your manuals. That said, I've never found it necessary, because if you get a high enough mage, you can go anywhere you want.
You can bebop through walls.
You can bebop through walls and teleport and do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Which again, this is about tools. If you want to get there before the mage can do that, you got to figure something like that out. Otherwise, you get your tool to where you need it. You use your tool. Okay.
Let's do what everyone wants us to do and attack this guardsman. These 5 guardsmen.
I would love to attack these 5 guardsmen, but I'm good and I might get the vapors.
Yes, that's the dark side of attacking, is that for some stupid reason, it lowers your
right.
It
alignment. Puts a ding against your alignment if you're good, and moves you towards evil.
But that's a very slow process. So
very slow process. It will not happen with one. Bribing, for some reason, I have less of a hard time. Well, it's an opinion. We're keeping it to ourselves for right now.
Yes. So let's attack.
Bribing moves you towards good, though.
Yeah.
Bribing actually makes you more good of alignment. So if you have a party that's slipped,
lost their way, perhaps. Yeah.
Do that. Otherwise, you can get it turned back at the temple for 250 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to attack. Oh, let me get back in my focus menu here. Attack.
Combat.
Now.
Okay.
So much to talk about on this screen.
Yes.
First off, the lack of graphics. We'll talk about next time. But combat has no graphics. The plus signs by people mean they are in melee range.
Yes.
Bow and arrow can delay. Oh no, delay is how long combat takes to happen. Currently 5.
I think that's the speed, right?
That's the speed, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. He can, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's down there. The D is something else. Protect. You can also see this outside of combat, but if you had any spells like shield or leather skin or protection from elements, they'll be listed in here along with how effective they are. Quick reference, we've talked about before.
Yep.
And view character. Handicap is interesting.
Yeah, this is a interesting mechanic that Might and Magic brings to the table.
I want to look up exactly what it says as well. But basically, whether one side or the other has been given a speed handicap for the current round of combat. If the monsters get it, it'll say monster plus whatever their speed's been increased in the other. What they don't really talk about is what triggers that handicap. Like, is it something done to even things out, or is it something done to give an advantage to people?
I think it's to even it out.
Yeah.
I think it's if you are more powerful than the monsters, they handicap the monsters. But it doesn't really help them that much. It just gives them kind of the edge of the attack order and things like that.
Yeah. So, okay. Bow and arrow is not in range to attack and doesn't have a bow. So he's just going to have to block. Yep. Cassandra. Do we have any good spells for Cassandra?
Yeah, we do. 1/4. She's a sorceress, right?
No, she is the cleric.
Cleric. Oh, she could do bless.
Yeah, it's 1/2, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's something.
So now if you hit P, you should see that, right?
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Look at you remember things.
I know.
I'm so proud of you. I'm going to pull up my cheat manual here, though, so I can remember. All right, so she cast Bless. Blind might not have been a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Tina LaFay can't do anything. 1 point of damage, 3 points of damage. That is 5 points of damage. That is not a small amount for poor Philia Flagon here.
That hurts.
Yeah.
So now.
So you were going to cast 1/4, which is Flame Arrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 1/8.
What's that?
Sleep.
Oh, nice.
Cast on A. So now, some of those guardsmen are not going to bother me right now.
Great.
So, if you hit attack, it will attack the first person in the rank.
Mm-hmm.
The reason you have fight is I don't want to wake the guy up.
Right. You want to fight B.
I want to fight B. And I missed anyway. Fight B.
B.
Missed anyway. Okay. Can't do anything.
Now you can cast. So now you're going to want to...
Now it's 1/4
is heal. So it's your early level spells 1/4 for both your cleric and your sorcerer are good. And who did you heal?
2. Philia Flagon. Yep. So now we're going to cast 1/4 on A. You'll see wounded shows up there for them. And missed again. Block.
Okay.
Let's take a quick look. Does anybody else need a little touch up?
Yeah.
Crushinator could probably. Ooh, Tina. Ooh. How did Tina get hit? Tina's not in.
It happens pretty fast. So I always just like end up hitting Q when it's time to heal and just seeing who needs it.
Got one.
Go. So you can fight B some more.
And they've advanced.
And the monsters now have a handicap because you've killed some of them.
Right. And Crushinator is again not again, but now in need of some help.
Ooh, and good thing you did because Crushinator got crushed again.
Yep. And so I'm going to sleep people again because I want as few of them doing anything because they will overcome spells over time.
Yeah.
Block. Quick reference. Tough call. Tim is hit. Do these guys have ranged attacks? They shouldn't be able to hit my back ranks.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to heal Cassandra over Tim, I hate to say.
Yeah. Tim's always been expendable, let's be honest.
Once again, Tim's dragging the party down. Cast spell 1/4 on B. Oh, Tim heard us.
Tim did it.
Okay, now.
So now you've got a situation because Phyla is unconscious. So you don't go straight to dead when you get to 0 hit points. You go to unconscious.
So I wanted to show that. Now, if she takes any other damage, she's done.
She's dead. She's only mostly dead now.
Only mostly dead.
So you are going to want to focus on healing anyone who is unconscious because you do not want them to die because it can be quite expensive.
Right. The thing is, generally speaking in the early game, these creatures, only the ones who do area effects will take someone from unconscious to dead. They're not going to target her anymore.
Right.
So, got to kind of think about who you want to. But in the next breath, this is a sixth of your damage potential, or in this case, because we only have 1 and 2 in range, it is half of our damage potential taking up a spot.
Do they get XP if they're unconscious?
Yes.
That's good. That's generous.
However, bow and arrow, we could exchange with 2. Sure. And now he's in place because Cassandra's out of magic points.
Right.
So Philia is going to have to hang out a hot second here. Block. Tina is also out of magic points. Or Tina never had any. Tim's out of magic points.
Tim's out, yeah.
Fight B. Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Okay.
And now it's just a matter of time. You got it. You got it.
Now, one thing we could do. Let's find out if I got it. Let's find out how well I got it. I can't cast any more spells.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one guy left. There's really no strategy left to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I could sit here and think about each button press. Or I can press Control A. And it will just fly through combat.
Useful tip. And now, this is very important.
Two things
Search
before we
first.
do the search. Remember we moved people out of order?
Yes.
Do you see what it did?
You put them back in order.
Put them back in order.
Thanks, Might and Magic.
Thank you for
You're
the small
best.
things, Might and Magic. Now, I know you want to search right away because you have probably missed many a treasure.
I have. I was not searching after combat.
But before we search, I'm going to have us rest.
Oh, man. Okay.
If we take damage from a trap when we open that, Philia's dead.
Yeah, it just makes me nervous.
Oh, me too. No encounters, because you can't get an
Okay.
encounter when you do. So now, after you've beaten those guys, you've gotten your XP, you haven't gotten any treasure because you need to search.
Do not take a step. You can rest, but if you walk away, you are done.
Right. That treasure's gone, and you will never find it again.
Mm-hmm.
So you could detect magic trap with a mage. Why waste your magic? Either your rogue is going to get it, or they're not. Because even if your mage detects it, it doesn't remove it.
Right. You got to have your rogue.
Rogue pop it. Ice Storm
Oh.
for 5 gold.
Yep, it's a grind. Okay, so now
Gonna rest again.
you'll rest again. And then what you will do is hightail it back to the inn and sign in, and you will continue to grind in this fashion pretty much in perpetuity, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Like,
That saved
That's
your
it.
game.
let's do a little example of some secret walls in town, and then I think we're pretty much at a stopping point, right?
I will bring my other team in for the secrets because there's one secret I specifically want to show. I do want to show this Otto's training. Do you require training? Because this is the other thing that's important in town. Level 2, it's about 2,000, but you'll notice there are different experience amounts for the classes. There's basically 2 sets of experience, 2, 4, and 6. For some reason, Knight, Rogue, and Cleric all have a lower experience than Paladin, Archer, and Sorcerer. I don't know why. To me, Sorcerer and Cleric probably should have been on the high.
That's what I think
Knight
too.
and Robber, I get having a little lower. I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever. Don't matter. None of this matters.
Classes have equipment requirements. Like you can't equip plate mail with a sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get. Well, we'll do that with the big group, I think.
I'll say my favorite grind spot, my pattern I take, if you go all the way down this hall and go down the hall of doors to your right, the last door on the right always has an encounter in it. That I always go to that one, and then on the way back I hit the one across from, or on the opposite end of that hallway is the trainer.
You want to see some secrets?
Yeah.
So let's go in here.
Yeah.
Turn left.
Encounter.
These are mine. This is where I like to go for my stuff. Again, can't do anything. But you'll notice, like the last one had 3 in range. This has 4 in range. Sometimes, especially if you get surprised, you can have your whole party in range.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can have like 1, 3, 5, and 2 are in range. So your back ranks are not a given safety spot.
Right.
I was kind of hoping that would show up here. Cassandra is our... Let's bless us. God bless us, everyone.
Tiny Tim.
Oh, yeah. Everybody went to
That's good
sleep.
stuff.
Boom, boom, boom. Some of them overcame.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Right? Oh, that would have been a good name for a fighter.
Yeah.
Next time. Block. Yes, 1-4 on C.
Fight
C. Fight C.
Later, you have S for shoot as an option.
Right, when you get a
Once
bow.
you get ranged, yeah.
Yep. Block, cast. 1, 4. 41 XP. No one's unconscious. Let's go ahead with the rest. Your rogue is not good at first level.
But everyone is still okay. So now you want to rest.
And I turned around, step through, and you can step out.
So the secret walls are, you just walk into them. You don't
Yes.
search.
Don't have to search.
You just like, you're going to be doing this a lot. Just like walking into walls.
Okay.
All right, let's get out the big guns.
All right. So, same place. Let's take a look at our stuff we got.
Much different situation.
Much different situation. And this is around level 10-ish, 11-ish. You will find at levels like 7 and 8, the power balance for your party tips dramatically. At level 7, your sorcerer, or not your sorcerer, your paladin and archer get spells.
Mm-hmm.
And then at level 8, they get their second attacks.
Yeah.
And that is doubling your damage output significantly. So the secret I want to show everyone, because this is a mechanic that I don't think I recognized right away in the game. Let's go. Also, every time you go to the inn, all the encounters reset. Anytime you reload an area, the set encounters reset. I could still hit an encounter walking up and down this hall. Like, it could happen. But there are places where you will have a fight. So let's go down to the one at the end of this hall. Poltergeist and a sprite. Sprites at low level are...
It's a tough combat.
Tough combat. I want to talk about bribe, too, in the next combat.
Sure.
So 2 for 25 points of damage. Like, my other guys were doing 3. You know what I mean? 28 points of damage. 3, 4. This is lightning.
There's also a turn undead that's quite useful in early game. 1/8, I believe, is turn undead for your cleric. Okay.
Now, that silver shield, I could have found that with my first level party. Like, that was not... That is to this area, not to them.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing I want to show everybody about this is if we come down to jail, keep out. Locked. Unlock 4. 5 skeletons. I'm going to hit bribe, no response. If it offered like all your gems, you can say no, bribe again, and you just keep doing that till it says no response. And then you don't lose your alignment. It's annoying.
Nice.
It drains you of time, but you end up at the same place as just hitting attack, which is annoying.
Boom. That's turn undead.
That's turn undead. That's the door we came in. This one's to the right of that. We're going to step through here. We're going to turn right. We're going to step in here. Bribe, no response. I'm actually just going to hit Control A. So once you've overpowered the monsters, you can just hit Control A. This is darkness. And if I remember right... Yeah, so I'll cast a spell so I can see where I'm going.
So you've gone through a secret door in the jail.
In the jail. I'm going to go through a secret door behind the secret door in the jail. And I'm going to go through this door, and I'm going to fight this encounter.
This is a dramatically more difficult encounter than anything you have faced in the first
anywhere else in this town. This encounter is... You will not beat it with your first level party, or maybe even your 5th level party.
Right, this is a tough one.
You may get lucky around 4th through 6th level, but it's sketchy. All right, we're gonna fight them though because we can. Fight the pyrohydra. Fight the pyrohydra. Cast lightning.
Nice.
Shoot, block.
Good XP.
Yeah. Decent
Now
XP.
what happens, Chris?
Probably some of your good... Ooh, defense cloak. I'll keep that.
Good job.
Who got the defense cloak? For item B. So what I just did there is... Oh, I can't. Okay, we were going to talk about this. Just got a defense cloak. I would love to put it on my rogue.
Mm-hmm.
My rogue has a flail, ringmail, large shield, crossbow, robber's tools, and a lucky charm. I can't equip the defense cloak. I never said cloak in there. It doesn't have a cloak I can't take off. I have 6 items. I'm done. Let's trade with 5. I bet my mage has room.
There we go.
There we go. That's not bad. The
knowledge book.
Yeah.
I like it.
It raises your int. Let's look at my stats too. Intelligence 24, might 8, speed
your
19.
stats have gone up.
Yeah. I've found some of the secret areas that raise your stats by 5. And look at my gold, 44. Look at my gems, 327. It does get better. Like you're gonna struggle that level 1, level 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts going fast. Yeah, get through that.
Grind it out in town. Yep.
Yep.
It'll go pretty quick.
Okay.
Fight. Go back to the inn. Sign the book. Go out. Fight again. If you lose, you just like go back to the inn. You won't have lost too much. You can grind up those levels. It's not bad.
It's not bad. What you're asking about though is, and this is about level 5, you're going to want to come fight this fight and see if you can pull it off when you can, because now every fight in town is this hard.
Mm-hmm. It amps up the difficulty all throughout the town.
So if you are bored in town, if you're like, I'm not ready to go to the dungeon, I'm not ready to go outside, but I need more XP go fight that fight. That's our spoiler tip for you. I'll show you here. Well, what do you mean?
Oh, that's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. Werebears and a gargantuan ant.
Not Care Bear.
Not Care Bear. Werebears.
Care Bears are much higher level.
And here we got a good example of 1, 2, and 3 are in melee range, not just 1 and 2. So if you're used to Bard's Tale being attack, 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 defend, 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 there is ever so slightly more involved.
Yep.
Not much. But,
you know. A little bit. So like make sure you're paying attention with who you want to cast, who you want to shoot, because sometimes they will have the option to attack. If you're not paying attention, you can be attacking with people that should be casting or shooting or whatever.
And here's a good example of like, okay, I attacked the first guy with my first character. I could probably kill him with the second one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him attack 2, and then I'm going to cast lightning. Oh, it didn't quite take out the other guy, but it took out the first one. So now the second guy is more damaged. Block. I don't know. Mage didn't need to do anything.
Yep. But now this is perfect. This is like, and you can reset it back to how it was by going to the end, signing in, and then you'll be back to normal.
Right.
And you'd have to go re-trigger that.
Right. So now
at the jail.
Right. Come out. We'll go back to that same encounter.
And it's going to be kid stuff.
These things, which are not as hard. I know if you haven't played the game, you're like, I don't know the difference between this and that. But if you have, you'll be like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's
In fact, you're gonna clean this up in one round. There you go.
Just hit Control A.
Yep. 0 gold. Fun.
That was quite the bag I found there. I do want to take a moment, since we've kind of shown that. I'm going to take us outside.
Yeah.
Just kind of show off what outside looks. Because you're going to spend so much time seeing those really big stone walled town when you're grinding. Just get a chance to kind of come out here and look around.
So here's some hot tips for you. 2D walls when you're mapping this stuff, so
Mhm.
be aware of that. I don't really like 2D walls when it comes to mapping because it kind of makes me nuts. But
Mhm.
you can walk through the trees. That's also really important.
Some trees.
Most trees, yeah. Around here, I think most of the trees you can walk through.
Oh, that's that. All right.
It's hard to see when someone else is playing it. You really
Yeah.
have to be driving to get a feel for it. But yeah, and through the trees there will often be encounters.
Too dense. But not all these. So just because this looks like this doesn't mean these trees are too dense and these aren't. It just means that in this particular spot, these trees are too dense. And so you just have to kind of bump into all of them to find out. Same with mountains, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You can walk through mountains? I didn't
Some
know
of
that.
them. At least I remember being able to walk through some of them.
Interesting.
I'm going to kind of come up here. Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah, this is juicy.
So, attack, cast a spell, 5/1. Shoot, attack, cast spell, 5/1. You get some spells later that are nice. They attack everybody in
Yeah.
the group.
Yeah, you don't get those in early game at all. It's like a spell level 3, I think you get your first one.
I don't want to do this for this particular moment, but there are some spells like Fireball you cannot cast on a character on an opponent in melee, or it will damage your party as well. But other spells like Lightning, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
So you got to pay a little bit of attention to that. And then there are other spells that only work outside.
Right.
So again, pay attention to that.
Good job.
Okay, so this is what this area likes, and you're going to see a lot of this, and you're going to start to think, oh my god, is this all it looks like?
Oh man, these are some long combats.
Yep. I'm just holding Control A. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Great hammer.
Great hammer. Not an okay hammer. A great hammer. Yeah, this is the one through.
Whoa. Some badass monsters.
I know. The minor I was going to say the minor demons might be a problem. Oh, they might be a problem.
Oh man, you got to rest now. Did anyone die?
I keep hitting search instead of rest. That could have been sketchy. I could have killed those guys.
All right. Everyone's okay though.
Yeah. So you go further this way, and you come like it changes
you're in a new
into
biome.
Yeah, new biome.
It's just like Minecraft.
I know.
Before Minecraft, it's amazing.
3-2, I want to say. Yeah. B3.
Very
Water
nice.
is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots to see and do in Might of Magic.
D1. Gonna step out here. Desert.
Cool.
D4. Swamp.
Cool.
So it's not as big as I remember, but there's still plenty to explore, plenty to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, here we're running sort of the same thing again. But you can also see, like I said, where eventually you have spells that just tear through.
A bag of garbage.
Very own bag of garbage. I'm gonna turn the volume off now. I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
That's about it for early game. Like you're
Vampire. Yeah, I'm
this
in
is a
the
classic
higher
horror
end
lineup. Yeah, you're in like mid game here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not high end games. I
Right.
still go places and get absolutely stomped. And you will be in an area where you think, okay, I've got everything around here. Here's a dungeon. It's obviously the next step. And no, it's not.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to go places, find some clues, go back to other places, find some clues, write everything down, try to follow the couple little breadcrumb quests they have going around. But my last piece of advice on this is there is an end to this game, but that's not the point.
Right. It's the journey.
This game really is one of, here's a world to go do cool things in. Go do some cool things.
Yeah.
And whether it's quests for kings or killing dragons or exploring the lost ruins or trying to get to the ultimate secret. I mean...
Yep.
I think she has 7-1 yet, right? Oh, she does. No, then we want to
probably turn these undead.
Well, I could turn the undeads. Here's some other options. Divine Intervention, which will just do some awesome stuff in general. Holy Word, which will blast all of them. Or Sun Ray, which will also blast all of them.
It's fun to blast people.
Yeah, let's blast them with Sun Ray. Oh, it just hit the one guy though. Boo.
Oh no, that's kid stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's
the spells scale with your level too, which is really nice because then like you still can trot out a level 1 spell if you can't afford anything, and it won't be totally useless.
Too dangerous to rest here, and he's
diseased.
So this is what I mean by you see that asterisk, and you're like, oh no, they're unkind. They're fine. They're diseased.
It's just a little disease.
Little disease between friends.
Yeah.
Got the vids. C2. If you fly to an area with a town, it will take you to the town. So if you look in the map that comes with it and you're like, oh, this town is in here, you can fly to there. And fly comes in real early at level 3 spells.
Right.
So this is kind of why I was saying with the shops.
Right. Fly to those shops. Spend your money that you're going to have a lot of.
And get out. Yeah. Most towns don't have a lot of wandering encounters in the streets, but they do have some very dangerous encounters hidden back in the corners. Fun to explore and find them, of course. Presume everywhere is accessible. That there's either a secret door or you can get to it later with your magic. Anything else? What other, do you have any other thoughts or notes or?
No, I think we covered the early game grind and the mechanics. I think that's it.
Yeah. Exploration magic, combat magic, first battle, leveling up, and then some secrets to keep you going.
Yeah. And we'll talk about our experiences with this game in about a month.
Yes. We'll be doing Boulderdash next.
Yes.
And then we will come back
as our short game.
As our short game. And obviously some live streams in there too, somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If there's any questions, post them in comments below. Come on Discord. Go to our Reddit. Whatever you want to do. Or don't. We're not your mom.
Right.
But if you're in Antarctica, wear your hat.
Definitely.
Definitely wear your hats in Antarctica. All right, then. It feels weird because it's not our normal type of game, so I don't know what to do other than see everybody later. I feel like I should be answering a question, but
no.
All right. Thanks. Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Big thank you to all of you watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, suggesting games, commenting on our videos, or supporting us on Patreon. We appreciate all of your support and look forward to sharing many more videos with you. Thank you again.